Hi everyone, welcome to another Paper Pioneer. My name's Dave and I'm here with Jay and we are watching another game where we've got Izzet Phoenix versus Izzet Delver. Izzet mirror match here tonight and starting with the Phoenix list, it is one of our stock lists. It's the standard situation where we've got some spells cantripping into the graveyard and we're looking to reanimate those Phoenixes with a little bit of help along the way with some thing in the ices and a load of spells to keep you alive. Jay, the Delver list, what are we looking at there?
Everyone's heard of Delver Secrets, the namesake of the deck. It is a 1/1, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top card of your library, you may reveal it if it's an instant or sorcery, and if it is, you flip Delver Secrets and it becomes a 3/2 flyer. Really, that is the name of the game. You want to get that Delver down turn one, and then you want to flip it and you want to attack. And then, in addition to that, there's quite a few burn spells with 4 play with fire, 4 lightning strike. There are 4 spell pierce, which is a lot, but there are some counters. There's 4 Kumano faces Kakazan, so it can be quite aggressive. And then in terms of other creatures, there are 4 Sprite Dragon, 4 Monastery Swift Spear, and 4 Arcane Proxy to recast spells from the graveyard.
So, for a change, actually, because our Is It Delver player is one of our spicier players, nothing too out of the ordinary, just an actual straight up good list.
Yeah, but I think it's exactly what Izzet Aggro wants to be playing. You know, they've got some small creatures that get bigger over time. They've got some burn spells. They've got some interaction with the counter spells. So I reckon it's a good list, but I'm not sure how it's going to fare against Phoenix.
Yeah, so right, exactly, and they're both going down to 6 here. We did a bit of a not a great admin job here of positioning their life totals, so we're gonna pull that up on the screen for you and keep it going as we go along. Um, I don't really know what they were probably thinking about their starting hands here against each other. They're probably just looking for a decent start, and
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
it.
I think this is a matchup where your opening hand is just how good your hand is. I don't think it really matters in terms of what the matchup is. For example, it's not like Grease Fang where you need to have an answer to Grease Fang in your opening hand.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but both of these decks, they play slow enough, and there's no main board. Is it Delver Graveyard Hate? So I don't really think that that's a consideration when looking at opening hands. I think the Is it Delver player will just want to go as fast as possible, and honestly, so will the Phoenix player. They will want to cast a bunch of cantrips, get Phoenixes into the yard, and then get them out.
Sure. So an instant commit to the 6 there from the Delver player. Some thoughts from the Phoenix player. The hand looks good to me. Yeah, one put back. We can see a Phoenix. There's definitely a spell pierce. There's lands to cast. So yeah, starting with Kamanos. So that is down to 19. Good solid start. Possibly one of the best uncommons printed in the last 2-3 years.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic card. It does everything you want. It pings them for one, and it also pings planeswalkers for one, which can catch quite a few people out. It's caught me out a few times.
Sure.
It buffs as a creature you play on turn two, puts a 1/1 counter on it, and then it becomes a 2/2 creature. All of that for just 1 mana is pretty efficient.
Sure. Well, we considered on end step put a land in the grave. Yeah, they're ready to go. They're dropping for 2. The is that the that's the promo art thing in the ice, right?
Oh yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, with a
Wow.
rather cool sort of like cheeky part of the art where on the front side the little thing in the ice has got a little smiley face. On the back side, he's really angry. But cool, yeah, cool art to see.
Yeah, I think the Phoenix player, ooh, they do decide to block, it looks like, so I believe the thing in the ice will just get burnt to death here.
Mm.
I'm not sure about blocking there.
Yeah,
Um,
they were on 17 at that point. That would have taken them down to 13. With 3 lands likely to be in play now, you were flipping thing in the ice in a turn or two. That was potentially a little bit of a misstep. But I think for this particular player, for the context of the video, it is their first ever running out on Phoenix. So yeah, they've piloting it for the first time, giving it a go, dropping the big ledger shredder.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it's their first time piloting Phoenix, whether they will catch all of the Ledger Shredder connive triggers.
Hey, I missed a bunch the other week, so we wouldn't be surprised. We'll give them a free pass if they miss one here. So impulse. Oh,
No,
okay.
Lightning Axe,
Lightning
discarding the
axe.
Phoenix.
Cutting the Phoenix. Okay. Destroying the Phoenix. Actually doing a connive, so already one better than me straight away. Um, everything dies, but we got that connive out, so good job there on the left.
Yeah, good job.
Unfortunately, then that's two spells, not the third, so Phoenix is not coming back yet, and the pressure still comes from the Delver player. That I believe is out. It's not yet into single figures.
But the live total is looking a little bit shaky, especially against a player who you know will run a lot of burn spells. You've already seen a play with fire and a lightning strike.
Yeah, you really would like to think that there may be a line here that okay. I was gonna say a line where you're trying to get Phoenix back in, but if the fourth land isn't there, it wasn't happening. But that's probably the only route back in here next turn is flipping this thing in the ice. Yeah, it takes the damage. Probably looking to do that.
So, Thing in the Ice requires 4 instants and sorceries to flip it. When it flips it, it returns all non-horror creatures to their owner's hand. So it would return both of the Delver player's creatures to his hand. But I don't think the Phoenix player has 4 spells to cast in their hand, especially for four mana. They only have lands open, so it has to be 4 1 mana spells. It looks like we're going to see a Treasure Cruise here.
That's absolutely right. We hit a treasure cruise, really hoping for a fourth land, which would give an outside chance of bringing back a Phoenix. There we go. We do get a mountain. A fiery impulse or a lightning axe or something would be clutch here.
Yeah, it looks like they don't have any burn in their hand. I think this has been quite unlucky from the Phoenix player to have only seen, I believe it was a lightning axe, and not seeing any of the other, quality removal that the Phoenix deck plays in terms of spike field hazards and fiery impulses.
Sure, I do believe they're fully kitted out in that respect. Maybe they are short a couple if this is the first time out. But yeah, usually running 4 fiery impulse, 4 lightning axe, and a couple of spike field hazard. This deck is usually not short of it. Still a consideration. Maybe Charter Course for 2 mana is the thought.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to play your spells. If you have nothing else, you just have to play them. I think that Thing in the Ice is going to have to block next turn. I'm not sure what life total they're at.
There we go. Yeah, Charter Course.
Looked like a Lightning Axe as the first card and a land as the second.
Yeah, definitely needs to be off the Thing in the Ice plan. They're gonna have to block with it, and we're pretty sure there is gonna be something held back from the Delver player. What are they playing there?
Is that a March of Swirling Mists to
It sure
phase out the
is.
Thing in the Ice?
Yeah,
That's not a
It's-
play you see very often.
it sure is. And also an animation of the Den and the Bugbear. So that's 3, 4, 5. That's 7. That's 7, and that's
Yep,
game.
that's game.
Yeah, that's game.
I think we saw the Delver list do exactly what they wanted to do. They were very quick, starting out, and the Phoenix deck just couldn't stop them. I think if the Phoenix deck just drew into, a Fiery Impulse or two, then potentially they could have, killed the 2 creatures that the Delver deck played, and then the Delver deck wouldn't have any pressure, but it just wasn't the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of sideboard, it looks like I'm not sure. What do you think gets brought in by the player?
Well, we had submitted the Delver list. They did have 4 Fry in their sideboard. I don't know if we're going to see all 4, but I see Ledger Shredder is a key card in this matchup, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of those at least, possibly. Mystical's Dispute as well is there. That would be an almost slam dunk counter spell for them to be bringing in. I don't actually know what's on the Phoenix's sideboard plan because I'm not sure what sideboard they're running.
Yeah, it looked like there were two Aether Gusts on the sideboard, which can take away some of those red cards, slow down the Delver deck a little bit, which seems okay. Um, I'm really not sure what the worst cards in their deck are. I just think they need to hit their removal and they need to get creatures down early.
Yeah, this is more. This is less of a improving your percentage matchup. I think rather than it's just a um, having a good game plan and sticking to it. Like it's like we mentioned the Greasefang matchup. It's not like bringing your resting pieces in, right? It's no slam dunks. I don't think on either
Yeah. Oh,
side.
although no, prowess could bring in graveyard hate. I'm not sure if they have any graveyard hate. I do have their list, but their list is not complete. The sideboard has some unknowns in it, so I'm not sure whether they do have graveyard hate. But if they do, then they should definitely bring that in. And I'll be very surprised if a Pioneer deck nowadays didn't have any graveyard hate at all, because Phoenix, Greasefang, even something like Rakdos midrange, they all use their graveyards considerably.
Hey, if you've made it this far on the channel, thank you ever so much, and it would be awesome if you could just subscribe. It doesn't take 2 seconds, and it is completely free. If you unsubscribe later because it isn't for you, then that's actually fine. If you stay till the end of the video and you leave us a comment in the first 24 hours, you may be eligible for a free code card. Drop us a line, let us know what you think, and now we're going to take you back to the action.
And I feel like this is a matchup where maybe you don't need graveyard hate because the Delver player is just trying to go so fast. They're trying to get off before any Phoenixes could even be reanimated. But it just doesn't feel the best, especially when you can't stop them from delving with treasure cruise.
Yeah, for sure. Like you beat them before you beat them before they get there. I think is the thought for the Delver player. Not I'm gonna play along with you on your way there. So waiting for decisions before deciding on the keep for the Delver player.
Yeah,
Looking
it looks like the Phoenix player has a Shredder in hand, a Consider in hand, a Burn spell, and a bunch of land, which, in my opinion, is keepable.
yeah, looks keepable. Let's see where we go with it.
And it looks like the Delver player is deciding to keep their hand.
Yeah,
Oh no!
letting us know what their hand looks like.
Oh, that's nice. It did look like a good hand. We saw two Kumano faces Kakazan, and what else was in there?
There was a mystical dispute.
There we go. Oh, and they're choosing to leave Mystical Dispute up. Do you think they're afraid of a Shredder on turn two? Do you think that?
I believe they are. That
And they've telegraphed it completely, haven't they? By
they called their shot. Absolutely called their shot here.
yeah, if they do have a Mystical Dispute, wow, this is
Oh,
fantastic play. Mystical Dispute is the easiest way to deal with that. Oh, they only have one land. That's what they were showing us.
yeah, but they were keeping due to the fact that they had effectively 3 1-land plays. Um, it
It,
was risky, but we'll see where it goes.
yeah, I don't think they play many lands either. I think the Delver player drew into another Mystical Dispute. And has the Kumano still. Oh, and we see a play with fire.
Okay,
Mostly just to get the scry, hoping for a land on top.
does not get it, but that's
Oh, and just passing the turn.
oof.
Is
Not
this
much.
gonna be? Is this
Not
gonna
much in
be
the
a
graveyard.
very bad game too for the Delver player if they don't find another land? Yeah, you're right. The Phoenix player isn't going that fast, but they've got so much time.
Okay, so they been an opt, which I don't know. Here I might have just gone consider into opt into another to.
Yeah, it does look like they have a Phoenix in their hand. I wouldn't have mind just playing a Phoenix and attacking.
Yeah, no, for sure. Delver's down and pass the turn. Wow. And he's gonna Spikefield Hazard it. Right, Phoenix. We need to go
I'm
off
I,
here.
yeah, I'm not sure about Spikefield. Oh, I guess that makes sense. I think instead of Spikefield hazarding, another play would have been to use a lightning axe just to get a Phoenix in the bin.
Yeah.
But hard casting the Phoenix isn't too bad. Oh, and we see them have to play a Kumano, otherwise they would have to discard at the end of turn, and they still haven't found their second land.
Yeah, sometimes it's just an overplay with the Kamano. Some to thinking, oh, I don't want to play it because I'm not going to be able to utilize Act Two on the enchantment. But this may be GG. We've got two Phoenixes down. The Swiss Spear doesn't counter it. We're going to hit now for another 6. I think this will put them to maybe 5. Um,
Yeah, I've not really seen this before. We've got two hard casted Phoenixes that are going to be
absolutely.
the downfall of the Delver player.
Well, yep. No land on the next sim might be a scoop. And there goes the Swiss Spear. Just one of those ones which played itself really. Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
and
is
there we go. No land and a scoop.
so what looked like a genius turn one, holding up the mystical dispute, didn't draw into anything of any quality. So, um, something to go back to the lab for there, checking on your on your one land keeps.
Yeah, I've played against this Delver player before, and I've noticed that he's very willing to keep one land hands, but they don't really work out. I feel like there are very few decks where you can reasonably keep a one lander.
Yeah, you have to you have to know your matchups, know your ranges, and sometimes just have, I suppose, just a little bit of heart, right, and go for them. They just won't work out sometimes, and that's what you got to go. Bit like in Greasefang matchups where you just don't have the combo, but you're just gonna trust. You're just gonna trust
Mm.
it. You're gonna trust in your Grizzle salvages and your Witherbloom commands to get you there. Um, that's the way Magic plays out, I suppose. And game three, we'll see probably very much of the same. The decks either doing their thing, or getting counted from each other. Always exciting to see it. Is it matchup with it's not the same deck. We did actually in this FNM have a total of 3 Is It Phoenix matches, which sorry, 3 Is It Phoenix players, and all on slightly different lists. So a deck that's definitely coming back into the meta game with, I think, really the rise of Greasefang, which is meaning good matchups. Graveyard Hate is not around.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Phoenix has come back because of the lack of graveyard hate in the format at the moment. Because it used to be Phoenix was on top, Greasefang was on top, and everyone would run something like 4 unlicensed hearses, and then if you're playing Rakdos midrange, some go blanks. If you're playing Azura's control, you would play loads of rest in pieces. And it just made the decks, so hard to cope with the amount of quality graveyard removal in everyone's sideboard. But it looks like now people are having to, put sideboard slots into stopping things like Indomitable Creativity. That's a new deck. And into stopping other decks, and that means they're trimming on the graveyard removal, and so these graveyard decks can now shine again.
Yeah, it's definitely a case that the 4 Leyline of the Void days are over, and some of these decks can actually get play again. The game has played out through turns 1 through 3 like expected. A couple of fiery impulses, a couple of mystical disputes, and we're left here going into turn 3
Yeah,
with
a mystical disputed ledger shredder. So that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's been hit every single time. Good card to still have, and that's something to almost take away. Oh, there's a second. Yep, and he just gives the nod that that's good. Plays an opt. Now let's just check this all goes through.
So
There
they get the
was.
connive trigger, put a phoenix in the bin. So there are now 2 phoenixes in the bin, which is pretty good. And
And
he
there.
now has a 2/4 ledger shredder.
Did he get the opt though? I think we. I wasn't sure if we saw the opt. The actual draw.
I'm not sure. I'm
Well,
sure he did.
hey, hey,
Hopefully he
the
didn't forget.
the connive trigger got done, and so he's 2 for 2. That's actually one more than I actually ever hit in my F&M experience. So where where we going here? Is there some kind of combat trick? No. This
So
is See the Way?
see,
Seek the Way?
see the truth.
See the Truth, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this card. It seems a bit too slow in an aggressive deck. I'm not sure about tapping 2 mana to not deal any damage.
You think if you're gonna go with this effect, Impulse is really the card. Just to go to at least look at 4, right?
Yeah, I'm really not sure about see the truth. We see an opt from the Phoenix side. Presumably they're gonna just try get three spells out and get the Phoenixes out of the graveyard just so they can attack.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Land for turn. Can we get a third spell? That well, we've got 2 more spells to go.
Yeah, 3 mana, 2 more spells. It should be possible as the Phoenix player. Oh, and
Oh
it looks
no.
like so. What is this? A pieces of the puzzle? Okay,
Yeah, it would
so
need to be.
no Phoenixes coming out this turn. And we see
Okay.
a spell pierce. That's very good. That's effectively a 2 for 1 because that pieces was going to get 2 spells into the Phoenix's player hand.
Sure. Um, Consolation Prize of a Connive. Okay. Been in removal. Hand must have. I think we could probably assume a Treasure Cruise or something's in hand here.
Yeah, here we see a Fry. Like you said, pretty good against those Ledger Shredders. It can get them even with 2 counters on.
Yeah,
Um,
you can let them get slightly bigger before they get taken out.
and a Delver of Secrets.
Sure, definitely with that little pickup of the graveyard, we should be expecting a cruise very soon.
Or another Pieces. Oh no, it's a Brotherhood's
Brotherhood's
End.
End. Okay, yes, interest. That would have been part of the sideboard, a standard sideboard pack for this deck.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Getting rid of the 2 creatures, it means there's no longer any pressure, and now they're looking at their graveyard. So I think now might be the time they're doing a treasure cruise. It looks like they only have 1 card in hand, so potentially final card in hand, they're going to play a treasure cruise. I bet they're hoping to draw a 1 mana spell.
We want an opt to consider
Ooh,
some.
it looks like they didn't find any. It looks like they found another Phoenix.
Oh, I think that really will be potentially a game swinger there because that would have been six damage on board, and but the Delver player has nothing, actually nothing.
Yeah, I'm confused with what the Delver player can have in their hand apart from just loads of interaction.
Quite low on life the Phoenix player there, so they need to just be a little bit careful with their tapping because they got a couple of pain lands on board. A
Yeah.
hard cast Phoenix just coming in. Looking to start the clock. Potentially some removal. Yeah, play with fire.
Yep. To get a
That's a,
scry to deal 2 damage. The Phoenix player must be at low enough life that they're just looking to burn the opponent out as fast as possible. Oh, and
yeah,
we see another play with fire.
to the face, to the face. So something hasty in hand. Maybe gets this done.
Oh, a lightning strike.
Okay.
So I believe that the life total must be that anything that's burn off the top is game.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a pump there as on the players, almost as if to say, if you got it, you got it. Right? I think that if you got it, you got it kind of moment of the game.
Yeah, I think the Phoenix player must be pretty worried. I think they just have to go as fast as they can. They really need to get those 2 Phoenixes out the graveyard, but I think they may even need to hold one back just to stop, a hasty creature. Ooh, we see a Wandering Fumarole. So this creature is interesting. It's either a 1/4 or a 4/1, and you can pay 0 mana to swap its power and toughness at any time. So on the attack, you can have it be a 4/1. When blocking, if you wanted it to be, you could have it be a 1/4. So a very versatile creature.
So see the truth off the top now, before the untap. There we go.
Yep.
Play with fire. He gets there.
Oh, there was an Aether Gust in their hand, although that would only give them a turn.
Okay, so yeah, games played out as expected there. Not much either side would have done or played differently, I think. Um, Delver, a good deck.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Phoenix player. It seems very strange to watch a Phoenix matchup where they don't cast 3 spells.
Yeah, I think you have to be more aggressive than you maybe attend magic tendency lets you be, right? I think you always think about I need to be careful. I need to keep damage in my hand. I need to keep responses in my hand. But actually, the reality of Phoenix is you need to go deep into your deck. You need to get everything online, and you need to attack. And you got to get used to that play style if you've been on different decks for the last few weeks.
Yeah, so we can see what they brought in: Mystical Dispute, Fry, Aether Gust, Abrade, Brotherhood's End, Anger of the Gods.
Pretty straightforward. Actually, all four fries, by the looks of it. Yeah, all four.
Well, a Ledger Shredder. It hits Ledger Shredder. It hits Thing in the Eyes. Flipped Thing in the Eyes. I believe Flipped Thing in the Eyes is an 8/7. So potentially that combined with some combat damage or another burn spell could take out a Flipped Thing in the Eyes, which is maybe a consideration for why it's in there. Um, I'm sure it's also for the blue-white control matchup and the Spirits matchup.
Exactly, and maybe of note with Fry, despite being printed many years before Ledger Shredder, kind of looks like their legs.
Yeah, that is something I hear a lot.
But on that note, that is the end of this game. We have many games here on the channel, so a few of those videos are up there ready for you to watch. So like and subscribe and do it for us. It's free, and if you don't like us, you can always unsubscribe later. But thank you, Jay. Thanks for watching Paper Pioneer live, and we'll see you all on the next one here on the channel. Oh, there's loads left to go, but I think